I sit right in on this one.
Hello, hello.
Good. Okay, yeah. Let me, okay. Good afternoon, everyone. How's everyone doing today? Awesome. Happy Wednesday. Kind of cloudy today, right? But it's that April still, wait until May. Hopefully it'll start feeling a little bit like summer. So thank you so much for being on today's team meeting. We got a lot of information to provide you today, and more so some updates as well. We got some great speakers that are going to be coming in here and talking to you and providing you some value. So you guys all ready? Yeah. Awesome. Let's go ahead and get started. All right. How we always started here at the South Bay office is with our mission, our beliefs, and our vision. It's to provide agents with a place where they will be empowered, trained, and motivated to experience growth, wealth, and a legacy that allows them to live their best life possible. 1 second, make sure audio is good. Yeah. Our belief, when the values of your own company align with your own beliefs, you found your professional home. And our vision, to achieve amazing professionals and personal development so that KW South Bay remains the agency of choice. Absolutely. Thank you again. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. Get that momentum, get the blood flow going as well. All right. Let's go ahead and continue. Next slide, please. All right. Do we have Jaime? Is Jaime here? I didn't see him. There he is. What's happening? Let's give Jaime a round of applause, guys. Happen all the time. What's happening? What's going on? How you doing? Good, man. Give us some good stuff, man. What do you got?
What we have is the best quality signs on the market.
That's right.
I brought some samples over here to the side. These are orders that I've recently done for the office for agents, and I brought them so the agents can see the quality of the work that we produce at our shop. We're open 6 days a week. We have a full service store, a retail store. You can come in and buy the real estate gear, supplies. Saturdays we're open from 9 to 1 in case those agents are need emergency open house signs or frames, anything of that nature. We are open. Turnaround time on orders is about 5 business days, so just keep that in mind. And that's only for sales signs and open house signs. If you guys have any commercial signs, we also do the commercial signs, we do banners, and we also offer the sign installation as well on the commercial and the banners. So pay us a visit whenever you guys get a chance. That's it.
How long have we known each other now?
20 years.
Yeah, 20
You really
years.
mentioned, remember that one time at the club when we were downtown when we met those?
Yeah.
That's another story.
Yeah, it's my world.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known him for quite some time, and when he used to be in Santa Fe Springs, I was a fairly brand new agent, and under Michael Yokis, Century 21 at the time, and they would always say, "Hey, you got to go to Rapid Old Signs," and his setup is amazing. It's a warehouse. And you could go, it's like a Toys R Us, as you can see, they have it all set up. So there's a lot of great stuff that you can use to leverage yourself, to market yourself, and, improve it. And now you're local.
Now
We're in Long Beach.
Yeah.
I
So,
was just gonna ask you, what's your address or where are you located?
We are in Long Beach. I'll hand you my business card right before I leave. But yeah, that's what we got. I mean, we can customize anything. If you guys need some custom signs, send us your logo, your color scheme, and we'll put it together for you. And we do that at no additional charge.
You guys renovated those, so the decoration, that's.
Yeah, we changed everything up. Everything was in construction, but yeah, we're good.
when I hit to your shop, I want to take a photo with you, just like this one here.
Oh yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Man, he's always there.
Absolutely. Any questions regarding Rapid Old Signs? Beautiful. Awesome.
Sure.
Well, I know he provided you with some literature information. Please make sure to keep it handy.
Yeah, I'm gonna hang out towards the end of the meeting. Anybody has any questions, I'll be here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Joanna, do you have a
I
question?
have one question.
Yes,
So, as far as the times being made, if we give you the specifications, because I do have listings that's coming up.
Yes,
out of
you can
area.
customize it. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Thank you.
I bet. Always
Yeah,
pleasure
thank
to
you,
see you,
sir.
bro.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, man. All right, let's give them a round of applause, guys. Thank you. All right, well, let's continue, especially hats too. If you're into hats, especially as we get close to the summer, he does it all of the branding for you as well. All right, so we're gonna talk to you a little bit about the LA Coastal Asian Real Estate Association, and we have the pleasure of having, I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Adriana.
Adriana here with us to talk to you a little bit of the big event that's happening. So let's give her a round of applause. So tell us a little bit of the franchise night and the casino night.
So it's a fundraiser. Proceeds will go to the wildfire fire relief. I know it's Asian real estate, but you don't have to be Asian. Everyone's welcome. And yeah, I believe there is a poker tournament, so there is a prize if you win.
Yeah.
And my name is Adriana Han, and I'm a property and casualty insurance broker. So if you have any questions about insurance, I could definitely help you guys with that. Did you have a question?
What kind of poker?
It might be Texas Hold'em, but don't hold me to it. You gotta show up and find out. And then I know we do have group sales. So if you want a cheaper rate, you gather a few people together and pay less. That's it. I hope to see you guys there.
And this will be Thursday, May 8th, 6 p.m. And it's at the Lucid dealership, which is right here in the city of Torrance on Hawthorne. It's the electric dealership.
So if you want to get rid of your Tesla, you could get a Lucid now.
Yeah, and they're pretty reasonable,
Yeah.
high performance vehicle. That's where they had their last event, and that's where they're having this event again. You know, the great thing is network, right? The ability and opportunity to network and rub elbows with other agents. And there's agents from all walks of life, you know, from different brokerages as well. So it's a great event. I will be there, as I promised Wendy. So again, it's open to any of you that you want to check it out. Awesome. Well, thank you very much. And I appreciate you coming in and going outside. All right. So next slide. I know Nat is going to talk a little bit more about this. So Nat, take it away on this.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for signing up. It's not too late if you want to sign up to volunteer. We also are looking for people for morning crew and for the grill crew. And in the next slide, we have somebody that's going to talk about it. So yeah, if you want to do morning duty, 7 to 9 a.m. at Wilson Park, please let me know. If you're worried about it being all heavy lifting, don't worry. A lot of it is just putting out tablecloths for 41 tables. So we would appreciate any help you can give. But right now we have Andy's Termite to tell you a little bit about the grill duty and food serving. So if you want to sign up for that, also let me know. But Andy, are you there?
Yeah. Let's give Andy a round of applause. Thank you, Andy, for coming in.
Okay, if you've never seen it, I have this huge barbecue, can actually put 100 burger patties on most of the time. We usually don't do that, but we gotta cook for a lot of people. I need some volunteers. I think you've already kind of worked on that.
Yes, sir.
Takes 4 people at the grill. And usually 2 people to feed the grill with meat. And people to take the burgers over to where they're served. So we really need probably 8 total people. Myself and my assistant will be there, so we'll take up 2 of those spaces.
Beautiful.
So we probably need 6 people. And there's a process, you know, when you have to produce hundreds of burgers fairly quickly. We've done it many times. We're really good at it. Hopefully the volunteers will take instruction. Because, you know, we all are great burger flippers, but it's a different technique to produce mass quantities of them at the same time and keep them warm. So they're not served cold. So hope to see you all there. I'm not sure exactly what time we want to serve the first burger, but I'll get that from you guys. And
Yeah. We'll get all that information to you by that time. We start probably setting it all up around 10:30, 11 o'clock.
I'd say anybody that's going to help with the grill needs to be there 1 hour before your first burger needs to be served.
Yeah.
So that's at 11 o'clock, it's 10.
Right.
It's 10:30, it's 9:30.
Yeah.
So when we get that time, when we want the first burger served, then we'll work around that time frame, and I'll be there, of course.
Yeah.
So,
And tell us a little bit about your company too.
Oh, okay.
You know, this is a great opportunity to
right.
really showcase what you really do.
All
Not
right.
flipping burgers, by the way. Even though he's an expert and he's been doing it for quite some time, he does have his business.
Yeah. Well, let's see, if you don't know me, my name's Andy Santinello, I own Andy's Termite and Pest Control. I've been doing this for 55 years. Wow.
Really? Only?
Graduated from Banning High in 1970 and went to work 2 days later for a termite company. Started Andy's Termite in 78, so we had 47 years in.
Anything.
And we're different, you know, almost everything's in-house. Half my employees have been with me over 30 years. I have 18 employees. We do our own fumigations in-house. The only thing we subcontract are larger repair jobs, and I have a contractor that I've been using for 30 years. So it's a real tight group. We do a good job, very thorough. In the old days, that wasn't necessarily that popular in real estate, thorough with termite, but either way, we work really good with both sides of the transaction, you know, we have a good reputation, been around a long time, so usually buyers and sellers are both gonna be pleased with what we bring. So if you don't have somebody that you like now, give us a try. If you do, and you still have a question, something complicated involving termite and a real estate transaction, don't ever hesitate to call me. I never decide if I'm gonna help somebody with a question or a problem based on whether or not I'm the company of choice. I like to help solve problems. I've been doing it for so long that I seldom will not know what kind of advice to give you for whatever the situation is, because I've pretty much been there before. So thanks. I hope to see you on the 8th.
That's right.
Some burgers and.
Absolutely. Yeah. Andy, thank you very much. Thank you for the service. Yeah, please take advantage of all of the affiliates that we have here. Andy, being in the South Bay for so many years, you know, he's a go-to person. A lot of agents do utilize, and he does provide, you know, the reports that are necessary to close these deals, you know, and the importance. I just found out myself that I have termites in the garage, so I got to get that taken care of. As a matter of fact, I have someone coming in to this afternoon. So, you know, the importance of connecting with affiliates is vital and very important. Fair enough?
Yeah.
Hey, smile, folks. It's Wednesday. Come on. All right. It may be a gloomy out there, but it's not gloomy in here. Right? Smiling is contagious, ladies and gentlemen. Okay, the more you smile, I promise you, you're going to close more deals. All right. Yeah. All right. Next slide, please. All right, let's get our guest speaker, Branden Farmer, with City Lifestyle here in Redondo Beach. Let's give him a round of applause. How you doing? What you got for us?
Well, I'm the publisher of a new hyper-local print magazine that's going to be focusing on Redondo Beach. So we are looking to partner with local real estate agents who want to focus on serving that community. I do have some slides.
Just say next slide, please.
Oh, there we go.
Okay, Karen.
Yeah. Next slide, please. So who we are, my wife and I bought a franchise, right? So City Lifestyle is a franchise. Been around for over 15 years. There's over 230 of them across the country. So they really have it dialed in on helping business owners advertise their businesses to the local population. Hyper local print is kind of a new trend in marketing, right? We all know that digital killed print, right? And that happened 50 years ago. Digital has now become an ocean, right? You get like a 3-second exposure when someone's scrolling through a screen. Hyperlocal print is a way to read through that morass of information and put a physical product that's going to have staying power in people's homes. You're going to get exposure. The quality of the magazine, the quality of the editorial is going to get us inside the house and get your message in front of your potential listings. So that's kind of the idea. Next slide, please. All right, so this is what we do. We're going to be sending out 7,000 magazines per month to homes in Redondo Beach. We're also going to be going to 500 different businesses in the greater South Bay area. That's how we're going to get outside of the Redondo Beach specific area. So we'll get into Manhattan, Florence, and a little bit in like waiting room type businesses, like doctor's offices and stuff like that. Our total exposure is going to be about 60,000 people per month. So you'll have a high level of exposure through our magazine. Next slide, please. So the way it works, or why it works, is we are a multi-channel platform. So we have a print side of the magazine. We also have a digital side of the magazine. Anything that happens editorially lives digitally and goes to serve as SEO third-party backlinks on the Google algorithm. So that's going to improve your search results. We're also going to push things out socially on our socials. Mirror your social activity as well to help push your message out. So it's a digital and a print marketing program. The idea is that we position you guys as a trusted advisor within the community, giving you branding exposure within this targeted market. And we also know that we are a proven platform. The franchise hires a third-party firm to go and survey the readership. And so we know that 2 out of 3 people make a purchase from the magazine. So it is an effective mode to get your message in front of your market. Next slide. So we also have done some research on what the readership does as far as what their buying tendencies are and how that relates to the real estate market. You know that 81% of affluent magazine readers are probably looking to buy a second home or a vacation home. We know that they're high value affluent people. And we know that basically it's going to be a good place for you guys to be in front of this market, right? The idea for us is to help you guys get like 2 to 3 listings a year, would be a really positive partnership. Next slide. And that is my presentation. If anybody is interested in talking to me further about specific advertising opportunities and what a partnership looks like, I'll hang out and be available at the meeting.
Question,
Yes.
so this is a magazine, but you also have a digital, so you can send to your clients the digital version as well?
Correct. Yes.
Are you related to Joanna Farmer?
I am not.
Okay.
No, there aren't very many of us around though, honestly.
It's another farmer,
Yeah.
because I was wondering.
The old UCLA guy, Danny Farmer, was a distant cousin, but
Oh.
Yeah.
That's good.
So what would be the initial process if someone would be interested in doing something like this? Reach out, is it a
Yeah.
consultation, sit down, kind of?
sit down,
explore?
talk about, we'll kind of go through the magazine, what we can offer you, how we could fit you in editorially. The editorial piece is available for people who are long-term partnerships. We're looking for longer-term commitments, right? So at least a 12-month exposure. Within those 12 months, we'll figure out what an editorial exposure is going to be like. It's not advertorial, it's editorial. So we're looking for interesting stories. You know, a charity that you're involved with, something that's going to be interesting to the readership, that then can also be, oh, and tangentially, this person is also a local affiliate, right? And then you can take that editorial exposure and you can repurpose that digitally and socially and do what you want with it as well.
In that case, so then you said, okay, I have this fundraising that I'm doing, or whatever it is, then
Mhm.
you write it, we don't have to write it.
Yes, so we hire writers, we have an editor, my wife's the editor right now, but we'll probably hire an editor, and we do hire writers to do and photographers to do the editorial piece. We'll do the writing. We also have community pages, so basically there's an events page, so if you are doing a fundraiser, you can put that in the events page to help drive traffic to that, and then afterwards, if you take some pictures, you send that to us, and we can feature that in the city scene section, so you can get exposure in the magazine on both ends of an event to try to just improve your overall exposure and performance.
So is this an additional cost, or you have
No.
one cost?
One cost for the advertisement on a long-term contract gets you access to all the community pages and the editorial exposure. Any other questions?
Is only cover London Beach community or cover?
Yeah, so because it's a franchise, the idea is being hyper local, we are focusing on just Redondo Beach. So we are going to get outside of 90277 and 90278 through the businesses and the waiting rooms, like doctor's offices and stuff like that, to get some additional traffic. But really, we are going to be focusing on Redondo. Some of the editorial content will come from the greater South Bay, certainly, but yeah.
So what's the cost?
So packages start at about $500 per month for the smallest app, and they go up from there.
We couldn't send the magazine directly to like SOI, or would you have like a set amount?
Yeah, so our distribution is fixed to the Redondo Beach residents and the mailing routes that we're gonna be going on, and then to these businesses that we're gonna go to. There are additional magazines that we have, and so we could potentially get you some additional copies if that's something that's interesting, and we can talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, basically, we're the owners, it's brand new, so June is gonna be our premier issue, right? So it's brand new, so it's getting in the ground floor of something that's gonna be different. We had identified this as a white space in the market. We all know that there's other magazines that operate in the South Bay, right? There's nothing that says Redondo Beach on it. So this is really for someone who wants to focus on Redondo Beach as their territory, become a trusted advisor within that community. It's really gonna be a way to make you stand out. We currently have 3 real estate partners in the magazine. We're only looking for maybe 1 or 2 more. So we have Estates, we have Coldwell Banker, and then we have a gentleman who has his own shingle called Coven Key. So that's the only people that we have in the magazine right now. I'd love to get somebody from Keller Williamson as well.
Beautiful.
Okay.
Any additional questions for Branden? Okay, Branden, well, thank you very much. I appreciate it. So stick around if you have any additional questions for Branden in regards to anything. No. He'll stick around if you have any additional questions for him. Be more than happy to address it. So, and I think the importance of looking at the bigger picture. It's funny, and I'm going to share a story. I was on the website navigating and watching some vehicles, and then as I'm looking at vehicles, I happen to see an agent, and that agent is Jesus right in front of me. So I don't know what marketing you use, but he was actually in a website that I was researching, looking at vehicles, and his branding information came, his photo and all that fun stuff. How cool is that? I immediately took a photo, sent it to him. I says, look, I happen to see you on this website. Okay. So again, it works, folks. Okay. Especially on what the things that we do is presence, right? The more people see you, the more people are going to do business with you. So again, just going back and piggyback on what Branden was saying, the importance of having these luxury magazines, right? It'll showcase that you are the local expert, especially if you're focused in the city of Redondo Beach. Okay, makes sense? Cool. All right, next. All right, so cool. Tomorrow, who's committed to show up tomorrow to this event? Okay, I need to see more people involved. My goodness. Okay, we need a route for agents that are going to be participating at tomorrow's The Closer. Top real estate agents go head to head in a battle of expertise and charisma. Okay, so we have top agents from the Long Beach office, the Palos Verdes office, and our true own office here, the South Bay office as well. You got Christina Blue, J10, and we have Eric Claudio and Bob Walaka as part of the competitors that are going to be part of tomorrow's competition. So this is a great opportunity, especially if you really want to sharpen your skill sets and really fine tune and adjust of what that looks like, because you're going to hear from top performers of how they handle objections. Okay. And why is that so important to know how to handle objections? Why is that important?
You're gonna get the listing or the buying.
Well, it's a determining factor, right? If the seller is going to work with you or if a buyer is going to work with you, right? What else? Why is objection handling very important and vital?
Communication skills.
Yeah, 100%, right? You can articulate that conversation and it sounds like you know what to do, right? What else? What do you get from objection handling, right? Instead of stumbling, right? Or I don't know.
Sharpens the skill.
Yeah, you come mentally, emotionally, and prepared, right? To have that conversation, right? Now, a lot of the objection handlers, in my opinion, are 3 components. 3, only 3. And if you can at least handle those 3 components, you're going to lock in that listing. You're going to lock in that buyer. You know what those 3 are? Simple. Price, terms, and conditions. Price, terms, and conditions, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. If you can handle the price of an objection, you win. Terms, right? What are terms? Well, I only want to give you 3 months to sell my home, right? Conditions, right? I only want to pay you $500 to sell my house. You chuckle. But what if that was a real life scenario, ladies and gentlemen? Think about it for a quick minute, okay? The whole goal and purpose of what we do is to connect with people, right? To show the value on why they should choose you over your competitor. I want to close more deals every single day. Would you agree or disagree? You got a license to do so, ladies and gentlemen. But if you're not sharpening your skill sets to understand how to maneuver those conversations, guess what? You're not going to close deals. You're not going to get those listings. You're not going to get those buyers to want to work with you. But the more you practice, the more you feel confident and comfortable when having those conversations with the consumer, you're going to sign more agreements. Is that a fair statement to say?
Yeah.
So I would expect that all of you and people on Zoom to be here tomorrow. Come early. Come early. Because we're anticipating about 70 people. Okay. And it's not going to be Zoomed. It's not going to be online. It's not going to be recorded. It's going to be out here. Okay. So if you want to get some prime VIP seats, get here early. No extra charge for it. Okay.
Do you have to RSVP or the show?
You just show up, but you should because also for food. Okay, because food sponsor is going to be provided for anyone that shows up. So RSVP, please, if you haven't already. Okay, but you'll get to see some top performers really go at it. And guess what? All of you get to pick and choose who you want to be the winner. Last year was Eric Claudio, which was nice to see one of our in-house agents win the competition. But this year, he has some very heavy hitters, okay? Allison Van Wyck does a lot of business, 50 to 80 units a year, okay? She's serious. So, and then you have Christina Blue, you have J10 that did, was it 30 million in sales value last year? Solo agent, 30 million. What sets them apart from all of you here? Okay. What really sets them apart? What it is, he knows how to handle any objections, but it's his charismatic approach, right? But it's his devotion, his dedication, and his drive every single day. And he's an agent that likes to go farm a neighborhood. And he's been doing it for quite some time. So imagine if you were able to penetrate a local area that you want to foster and plant that seed. And now you start to see return of your investment from all of the door knockings, right? The conversations you're having with the neighbors, right? Knowing and seeing people, children grow and now become young adults, right? That's where you see your investment. It's in future referrals as well. But if you're not in front of a buyer, in front of a seller, in front of an investor, in front of a developer, you're not going to see the results. I can tell you that. Okay. So again, this is a great time to take some notes and see exactly what some of these agents are doing to generate opportunities. Okay. So show up early tomorrow and be prepared. It's going to be an awesome event tomorrow. Okay. Cool. Questions, thoughts, concerns? Now who's committed for tomorrow? My goodness. Okay. Yeah. All right, next slide. All right, I think we have Fernando Diaz with CMG Home Loans. Fernando, come up here, man. How you doing? Let's give him a round of applause.
I'm just gonna throw some goodies at you.
Oh, no, we're gonna have this news.
And real quick, guys, let's talk about the markets. We're up 1,000 points, we're down 1,000 points, we're all over the place. We like Chairman Powell, we don't like Chairman Powell, that unstabilizes things. Right or wrong, let me just I can read this real quick. Here is where we're at. quick here. This is today. Weekly mortgage demand plunges nearly 13% as interest rates hit 2-month high. Okay, so for a conforming loan, which is an 806 or under loan, the national average today is almost 7%. We're at 6.90, 2-month high. Okay, and a lot of this is because of constant instability. Like I told you guys before, the elephant in the room is our debt. So it's not so much the tariffs are going to be an issue. It's more about the budget that has to be passed that's coming up. That is what the treasury market is watching. It doesn't care about tariffs at all. It's totally disconnected from the stock market, which is a rare trend that's happened. It all cares about that we're going to spend less and hopefully take in more. And that's what it's looking at. And that will cause the markets to calm down. And obviously rates will come down significantly, I feel, if that were to happen. But to be determined. So everybody always asks me, my clients, people, what's going to happen? Where are mortgage rates going? Natalie, I think I have a slide, right? Natalie, put the slide up for mortgage rates.
It's on there.
Go ahead. That's it. There's mortgage rates next week. Based on everything that's going on. You can send it to your clients and they ask you, what do you think about rates? Go send them that. Here you go. That's what it was. All right. So
Looks like a child's room.
I mean, if you look every day, we drop, well, same thing the market's doing. If you look at the stock market, it's doing this, look at the bounty house every day. So real quick too, this is quick and easy. If you guys are working with buyers and or sellers in the condo arena, I'm seeing disasters left and right. The number one thing I see happening is this: the HOA got their insurance canceled because that company pulled out of California. They're looking for, affordable insurance. They do a shortcut deal, and now the complex doesn't qualify anymore for traditional financing. And so I'll give you a family right now. The son bought, the mother's closing this week, but I'll tell you what happened to the daughter. They're all looking for condos. So she went in and out of escrow 3 times, right up to the end because of the condo. She spent $700 on an appraisal 3 times. She spent, what does a home inspection cost these days on a condo? What, $300, $400, $500? And she's also spending another $300 or $400 to the HOA so that we can get our cert and all the documentation. Okay, times 3. It always happens in the end. The condo doesn't qualify now because of insurance or something else. So just be alert. I highly recommend you, if you need my help, my condo department will call for you. They'll help you guys out and they'll see if the place is solid for regular financing. Otherwise, you're going to have a problem and you're going to have to deal with that. So just keep that in mind. That's going to have the challenge. Now for some prizes. So actually, where's Chris? Chris and I saw this guy, the car guy, yesterday. So I already read this. What do you think the state's median home price in March was? The state, so the entire state. Who's close? I'll give you a treat.
800.
700.
Who said 8? Well, right, you gotta throw 2 over there, Simon. The median price is $884, $350. Okay, that means half the house was sold for more, the other half sold for less. These are over the family home. Okay, that's up 3.5 from last year. So even though rates are high, prices keep going higher. Okay, that in mind when you talk to client. Now the fun stuff. Let's see what LA County did. So if you guys remember January, February, and now March, we've sort of been on a downward trend in LA County. And did that continue or not? I don't know. I'm going to leave it up to you guys. What is the median home price in LA County right now?
826.
Dude, give him 2 prices.
826 is the number?
829,260. Nice. But here's what I see. I'm gonna quiz you guys on this. Watch this. What was it last month, February, in LA County?
850.
Dude, give him a price. Who said 850? Yeah, right there. 852. So if you look from January to February to March, we're one of the only counties in a downward trend. Okay, we're at 900,000, I think in January, 900,000 change. Then we obviously 852 and now 829 or something like that. Where is it, right? 829. Okay. Is Orange County up or down? Everybody got that wrong. Down.
Oh, I thought you said LA County was a little bit.
No. There's others. Now, Riverside County, up or down?
Oh, yeah.
Down. Down. San Bernardino, up or down?
Down.
Up. San Diego County,
It's down.
flat,
Okay.
no change. So that gives you an idea of what's going on in the markets. Any questions? I'm gonna leave it at that. If not.
LA County, well,
So, okay, so part of the reason why, and which I think is a good thing, guys, is we are up about 24% in the first quarter inventory year over year. Right, so as more homes hit the market and stay longer, you're starting to see these prices go down. So I think that for LA County, unlike other counties, I think that that is part of the reason why we're seeing prices, and they're not diving, they're just correcting slightly, little month by month. And I think it's because you guys know, I mean, you guys know the numbers, right? There's more inventory and it's coming, and that's creating basically a more balanced market, which is actually a good thing. Okay. So that's why you're seeing LA County, I think, sort of month over month going down and down and down a little bit. So be careful if you got over aggressive sellers that want, pie in the sky prices, because you can show them the trend line. It's not, in their favor. You gotta be right. I don't know, anything else? Any other questions? No? Nobody wants a prize? Ask Simon. Simon will quiz you and give the rest away.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thank you.
Awesome. Thanks, Fernando. Yeah, interesting, right? Scribble, the interest. Yeah, it doesn't, and it doesn't foresee that it's getting any better. But guess what? Buyers are still buying, sellers are still selling, investors are still buying. You just gotta go out there and find these people, okay? It takes a little bit more, right, Jesus? Takes a little bit more dedication, a little bit more hard work. What used to be simplistic back in the early 2020, 2021, 2022, when rates were super low, right? Those times are no longer part of it. So now we have to triple up on the activities just to make the same results that we saw last year or the year before. So interesting
I
time.
will leave it with one more thing, Simon, guys.
Yeah.
The amount of inventory as it keeps coming and these houses keep staying and rates are rising. Go back to the buy downs, ask for the money. Trust that you're gonna get it. The house is sitting there. You're gonna get it for your client. That's gonna give them a lot of relief, at least initially for the first year or two.
Yeah. Awesome. Thanks, Fernando. All right, let's continue. All right, any listing pitches, buyers, needs and wants? Anyone? Joanna?
Well,
Hi.
the listing that I just put on the market this morning, it is a 2-bedroom, 2.5 bath condo in Redondo Beach. But it's actually can be 3 bedrooms because the loft has windows that you can enclose, and it also has a walk-in closet. So technically, it really could be a 3-bedroom condo. So I'm gonna have brokers open tomorrow if you guys want to take a look at it. And I am serving lunch, so come by. It's 1007 South Catalina Avenue, and it's unit 212, and it's listed for $1,495,000. So
And what's the HOA?
HOAs are $550 a month,
Okay.
and it's 1 block from the beach, so super close and really spacious. It's just under 2,000 square feet.
What are you guys asking for?
$1,495,000.
How many spaces, parking?
2 parking spaces, and it's gated. It's subterranean, but it is gated. And then you do have a keypad access to the main building, so it's a secure building as well.
Awesome. Thank you. Anyone else coming soon? Yes, sir.
Yeah, I actually have a buyer need. I'm looking for a triplex, quadruplex. 1.2 and below. And that's pretty, I would at least one unit to be vacant. And maybe, and for the bedroom count to be at least 2 bedrooms with a vacant unit. So that's it.
I would encourage you also, if you are not part of WhatsApp, put it out there as well.
Okay.
Yeah, I would definitely do so.
I wish I could tell you mine, but it's all occupied.
So that might work though. I'll talk to them.
Okay,
and,
talk-
yeah, I'll talk to you
yeah.
afterwards.
Tell
Yeah.
them that I'll take 975 for
It's 975?
yeah.
Okay,
Yeah,
yeah, we'll talk.
yeah.
Awesome. Anyone else? No one else? Yes, hi.
I have friend, she's looking for a house to buy. In
Okay.
Culver City, this area is fine, she's not sure yet, but she all cash and like 2.5 million, like
Okay.
something like this price.
In Culver City?
Culver City, here, but she works closer to, I think more toward Culver City. I want to bring her over here, but it's hard, she's gonna be long commute for her, but mostly it will be in Culver City or Venice, so like that area.
Yeah, okay, so do you have,
I have friends looking to rent in like Westchester, Culver City area, like 3 bedroom, 2 bathroom house.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah,
Rent, yeah.
Elliot, yes.
The 3 bedroom, 2 bath that I talked about last week, it's already in the market and coming soon, so if you have buyers, have them drive by and check it out. 775, and there's some room to do repairs, so 2% also concessions. Not bad. Thank you.
Awesome. Anyone else? Gardena?
Yes, Gardena. Okay.
Simon,
Yes.
our client's looking for a lease in the Westchester, Culver City area. I know his budget is 10,000 a month. I don't know why he doesn't want to purchase yet, but 3 bedrooms and also an ADU for his parents that will be moving out from Florida.
Well, this is a great opportunity for you to say the reason why he should purchase. Yeah,
But yeah, he wants to lease. They're supposed to be moving out by summer, July.
okay, beautiful. Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, let's continue. I think the next slide is broker updates. All right, so what I wanted to share with you today, and I want to be very candid with you. How many people know under the purchase agreement paragraph 14B? 14B. Does anyone know what 14B is? I don't even know what that is. Come on, Steve, get over here.
All I know is that it comes after 14A.
Let's give us a applause, guys. All right. And the reason I'm bringing this up is because 14B is a very interesting paragraph on the purchase agreement, but it also defines a lot of the lingo and language there of a way that I use as a strategy, right? And you know, Steve, you know the ins and outs, I think, better than I do on the purchase agreement. What is 14B in your opinion?
Did you not? I'm not sure what 14B is by the number.
Yeah. 14B is
if I had to guess, 14B is probably arbitration.
no.
Buyer's investigation.
Yeah. 14B. Yeah, 14B is your contingency removal physical inspection.
Okay, so it's actually buyer investigation contingent.
That's right.
Okay.
Yeah. 14B. Now, that can be a negotiating parameter in place, because if you know how to maneuver that paragraph, then there's ways that you can either press forward or ultimately use that as an exit strategy if the buyer does decide not to pursue this particular property. Now, contingencies in place are typically 5 days, 7 days, and 17 days, right? Physical inspections are 17 days. Appraisal, loan contingencies, seller disclosures, 17 days, right? Insurance, yeah, all of the above. Now, 17-day is a default on the purchase agreement, right? It's a default amount. Now, can you adjust that 17 days? The answer is absolutely. You can increase it or you can decrease it. Okay. And part of the process is depending on where the buyer's motivation on this particular property will dictate how you maneuver these conditions, especially physical inspections, right? Because let's just say that it's an all cash transaction. There's no lender involved, right? But loan and appraisal may not be the biggest factor, but that physical inspection contingency may be, right? Now, working with investors is a different type of animal in itself, right? Because their job is to try to secure and get their feet into a property, right? So they may reduce that 17 days to maybe 5 days, 10 days, 12 days. But in essence, of why I wanted to talk to you about paragraph 14B is because we're seeing a lot of confusion amongst real estate agents and the importance of how you can cancel a real estate transaction and where the buyer can retain the rights to ultimately get back their earnest deposit, right? And they'll use other excuses to say that this is the reason I want to back out of the deal. Now, I'm going to ask you, and I'm going to be very candid with you, can a buyer just decide they want to cancel just because they changed their mind?
Yes.
I just decided, hey, you know what, I thought about it, I want to cancel after all. Just this house is just not for me. Can a buyer do that? How many say yes? How many say no? How many people say, I don't know that answer? Okay. Well, the essence is, yeah, you can definitely change your mind as long as you have your contingencies in place. Okay. This is how you as a real estate professional need to know how to navigate this. Now, for us, we never want to cancel a deal, right? We want to push forward, get the deal closed to the finish line so that way we get paid, right? In essence, we're not the buyers buying the property. We're not the seller selling. We're just helping the process, right? To get them to the finish line, right? But it's our job and it's our duty to also understand every element and every component of how the RPA works, okay? Because once you understand the ins and outs of the RPA, guess what? It's a smooth sailing for you because now you have the upper advantage when you're dealing with someone such as a sophisticated person that knows the ins and outs of the purchase agreement, like Steve does, Because if I was to go toe to toe with him, I better come in with my A game. 1, he's a broker associate. 2, he has many years of experience. 3, he understands the ins and outs of the purchase agreement. So if I'm trying to maneuver this, and I'm a newer agent, right? It's going to be very hard for me to really go toe to toe with someone that knows the ins and outs of it. Okay. Rest assured. But if you start really just taking the time and moment to really just read the contract, read it. All of your answers are in there. And guess what? If you do know and understand the RPA, it protects not only the buyer, the seller, but it also protects all agents and brokerages in there as well. So there's a lot of clause in there that says what the buyer must do, what the seller must do, what the agents must do, and the initial process of instructions that escrow also must do in order for us to go forward, negotiate, or pull back from the escrow, right? Cancel escrow. But you're not going to understand any of this if you're not understanding the initial process.
Can I expand on this a little bit?
Please do.
14B is probably the number one, is a clause that most agents really don't understand. Most agents actually refer to, when they read 14B and reference it with their clients, they use the words home inspection. Okay, believe it or not, that contingency does not say home inspection contingency removal. It says investigation contingency removal, of which then for the vast majority of our clients, the home inspection is a major portion of that investigation, but it's not the end all be all of that investigation. What are other areas of investigation that may be important to our clients? How about crime rates? Something else.
Preliminary title report.
Prelim.
Sex
What's
offender.
permitted, not permitted?
Yeah, permit,
Yeah.
sex offender,
Find out.
anything. It could be as simple as I need to find out how long of a commute it's gonna take, for me for to and from work. If that's important to a buyer. The investigation contingency is whatever is important to the buyer to buy that house or to buy that house at that price. Now, could some of those issues that may be somewhat of an issue, may get mitigated a little bit if they got it for $100,000 less. Yeah, maybe a little longer commute may not be so bad, okay? But it's whatever it is. It could be that there's a barking dog next door. It could be that they don't like the color of the house across the street, that they don't want to stare at the color of the house across the street out their front window. It is whatever is important to your buyer. And that's what you, when you're a buyer's agent representing buyers, want to convey to them. Yes, the home and the condition of the home is important, but are there anything else that may be important to you within the process of purchasing? And it's within this window that is then being used, referring to the investigation contingency window, that it must be done in. Okay, so if you guys can always work with, it's not just the home inspection contingency, it's the investigation contingency. And that will really help, and it'll help your clients now think of what things may be important to us when purchasing a home, especially first-time home buyers. You know, because they are just in a whirlwind of confusion because they've never done it before. Okay, but now, you know, so at that point, yeah, you even want to point out, you know, is sex offender in the neighborhood important? Is crime rate important? Okay. I always tell, you know, my buyers, I said, go talk to the neighbors. Go talk to the neighbors. The neighbors have no stake in the game, whether you buy or don't buy. They'll tell you the truth of what's going on in the neighborhood. Okay. So make that part of their homework, you know. So yeah, it's a very, very important one. Now, one of the things that, although the contract defaults to 17 days in the contract for that, you know, when you understand the marketplace that you're in, when you represent, I know when I represent buyers and I represent a buyer where there's no competition, typically, and if we're negotiating more, I'll leave 17 days as the default. But if I have competition now, if it's a multiple offer, there's been times in which at that point I've written 2 days for an investigation contingency. Like 2 days? How in the world do you do that? Well, I kind of forecast when I think negotiations will be completed, and I pre-book a home inspection based on that time frame. Okay, referring to if today is Wednesday, offers are due tonight. Figuring then if they already have 5, 6, 7 offers, it's probably going to take 4 days. By the time negotiations are all completed between offer presentation, counter offers, resubmissions, and the whole bit, it's like, okay, on the 5th day from today, I'm going to book the home inspection, and I'm going to point out to the listing agent when I'm the buyer's agent, Mr. and Mr. Listing Agent, please pay attention. My buyer is intending on removing the investigation contingency in 2 days. Okay, if their offer is selected. Your buyer may say to you, well, Steve, what happens if you have further investigations that need to take place? Ask for an extension. Well, what if they say no? Well, then threaten to back out. And then if need be, back out. I'd rather have my clients back out on a home they're not comfortable with if they have further investigation. But it'll be in their court whether they choose to or not. I'm not going to advise them, well, just go ahead. I'm sure everything will be fine. Okay. It is a negotiation strategy. In other words, you don't mandate that it has to be 2 days. You talk about the benefits of what this could mean if they are in agreement with it. And you can only then do that when you understand everything that goes along with that. So that's just a small example of what can be done.
Yeah. And see, thank you, Steve, for sharing. And I'll leave it at this final note. You know, once you release that as part of your condition, right? Because that's part of the process, right? Every time a buyer releases a contingency, that deposit that the buyer put is getting exposed. It's like walls, okay? The walls that you have are the contingencies in place that protects the buyer's earnest deposit. So every time you release a contingency, now the seller is closer and closer to ultimately getting the deposit. Because once you release any and all contingencies and the buyer decides to back out of the deal, okay, you may jeopardize the buyer's deposit, or the buyer may jeopardize their earnest deposit, okay? So understand the elements of how these workarounds and how the process works, okay? As Steve was saying, yeah, you can ask for an extension. I don't want to start all over again, so I rather try to stay in the game in this escrow than put the property back on active status, fish and negotiate other offers and terms, and then hope that that new buyer will close the deal, right? Because there's still no guarantee. So in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, if they need an extension, how much time do they need? Well, we gave them 2 days, and if they ask for another 2 more days, I think that's reasonable, right? Depending on the clientele, right? If it's an investor, then you want to be tough on it because their job is to renovate and redo the entire property. So they're going to tear down everything, plumbing, windows, and the whole 9 yards, right? Where a first-time home buyer may be a different component, right? So you got to look at the pros and cons, and this is why asking a lot of questions is vital and important. So with that, I just wanted to kind of share with that. Any final thoughts, questions, or concerns regarding 14B? And if you have any additional questions, by all means, reach out to us. Okay, awesome. Thank you. All right, next slide, please. Upcoming events. I got Vanessa on Friday. She's going to be my guest speaker on the producer's mindset. Come and listen to this phenomenal agent with many years of experience. She's not just a producing agent, but she's also a productivity coach. So I'm going to have that interview with Vanessa. So come and hear her experience and journey in real estate. So this Friday, April 25th at 8 o'clock in the morning. Next slide. Don't forget, we also have our contract class. I'm going to be diving deep into the listing agreement, the RLA, this Friday, April 25th, 10:30 to 11:30. Next slide. And we're having a outdoors Paradise Fall out in the Valley, Thousand Oaks, Sunday, April 27th at 9 a.m. Spearheaded by many. So if anyone is interested in going out on a hike, and I think it's not an intense hike, but I believe there's also a waterfall at this particular area of Paradise Falls. So if you're interested, show up on Sunday, April 27th, 9 a.m. Next slide. And just a reminder, May 15, 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. We have headshots here at the South Bay office. Next slide. And that concludes our team meeting. Thank you, everyone. Awesome.